All right, so the Unit 5 review, there will be vocabulary. Now this is in its learning format, so you're not going to have to type out the entire definition, but you will have to know it, and so the best way to know a definition for vocabulary is to write. As you write, your brain processes it differently than as if someone read it to you. So, circumcenter. Also, if you remember, I gave you a paper that looks like this. It's the anchor chart, and there's a link to this on its learning also. And it has everything on this one piece of paper for this whole unit. It also has mid-segment on there. Mid-segment has been moved to a different unit from when I made this. So that is everything on this unit. If you study this paper and know everything on this paper, that's the test. It has these definitions on it. So if you remember, I said circumcenter is the long word, circumcenter, and it's made up of the lines. That's the long word, perpendicular bisector, because there's two types of points of concurrency, circumcenter and centroid. Those first two definitions, circumcenter and centroid. Circumcenter is a point of concurrency of perpendicular bisectors. Okay, so again, circumcenter is made up of perpendicular bisectors. The other type of point of concurrency is the centroid. It is a point of concurrency because a point of concurrency is a point that's made up of three or more lines, right? That's what it means to be concurrent. But this one is made up of medians. All right, so the centroid is made up of medians. The circumcenter is made up of perpendicular bisectors. Perpendicular bisector. That is a line segment, or a segment or ray. So a segment that is perpendicular. Line, segment, or ray that is perpendicular to a segment at its midpoint. Okay. I'm just going to go with a line. It's a line, segment, or ray, but I'm going to go with a line that is perpendicular to a segment at its midpoint. A line that is perpendicular and remember, perpendicular means it meets at 90 degrees, has an angle of 90 degrees, perpendicular to a segment at its midpoint. So not just anywhere, it's a line that meets another line at 90 degrees, but also it bisects it, a perpendicular bisector, and a bisector divides that line into two equal parts, so it has to be at the midpoint of the segment. Okay, so then concurrent is three or more lines that intersect at the same point. Three or more lines that intersect. We don't need mid-segment. That shouldn't even be there. That's the one. They got moved to a different unit. Don't worry about that. We'll deal with that I think in Unit 9 or 10. A median it's a segment from the vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of the opposite side. So a median divides a triangle from a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So again, not just anywhere on the opposite side, but exactly in the middle of the opposite side. And it connects to the vertex. So the vertex from one side connects to the midpoint of the opposite side. There can be 3 medians in every triangle because there are 3 vertices in every triangle. And then the last one is angle bisector, which we should know this one by now because it's been on several tests already. It is a ray that divides an angle into 2 congruent parts, or 2 congruent angles. A ray that divides an angle into 2 congruent smaller angles. So an angle bisector is a ray that divides an angle into 2 congruent smaller angles. So it splits an angle exactly in half. Okay. Next is given 2 sides of a triangle, find the range of possible values for the third side. So remember when we did this, I had these little plastic sticks. And I said, you have 3 sticks and you want to make a triangle, then when you take the 2 smaller ones and you add them together, they must be longer than the third side. So like these 2 that I have right here, the 2 smaller ones, when I add them together, they are not longer than the third side, so that makes it impossible for me to make a triangle, even if I try, put them together, because they don't reach the other side, so I can't make a triangle. The long side's too long. It doesn't reach, so I can't make a triangle. So when you add the 2 short ones together, if it's not longer, then you can't. Like these are equal, and so I can't make a triangle. They overlap and it makes another line. Oh, that's kind of that was this section. Sorry about that. What I just described is for this part. We'll go back up to the other part. So number 6. Given 3 numbers, determine if they can be the measures of the sides of a triangle. So if my measures are 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to take the 2 small pieces, 3 and 4, and add them together. So 3 plus 4 is 7. Is 7 greater than 5? Yes, it is. So yes, I can make a triangle with those pieces. Number 7. If you add the 2 smaller pieces together, 2, 3, 8, so if you add together 2 and 3, that makes 5. Is 5 bigger than the third side, 8? No, it is not. So no, I cannot make a triangle with these 3 pieces. 42, 13, 35. So if I add together 13 and 35, then I get 48. Is 48 greater than the third side, 42? Yes, it is. So yes, I can make a triangle. Number 9, 8, 11, 19. So if I add together 8 plus 11, that's 19. Is 19 greater than 19? No, it is not. They are equal, so I cannot make a triangle. So the 2 small sides, when you add them together, they must be longer than the third side in order to make a triangle. Now going back up to number 2 through 5. Given two sides of a triangle, find the range of possible values for the third side. So this is whenever you want a range of values. So to do this, all my answers are going to have the x in the middle. It's going to be in the form of a number is less than x is less than another number. To get the small number, I'm going to subtract the minimum value. So I'm going to do 35 minus 26. This becomes a 2, and this becomes a 15. So 9, and then those cancel, so 9. 9 is less than, x is less than, and then to get the larger number, I'm going to add the 2 together. So I have 35 plus 26. That makes 11. That's 5, 6, 61. So anything between 9 and 61 would work to make a triangle with 26 and 35. And that's the answer. So to get the small value, the minimum length required to make a triangle, you subtract. To get the maximum value, the longest length to make a triangle, then you're going to add. So here again I have 53 and 42, so I'm going to do 53 minus 42, 1, and it's 11. So 11 is less than x is less than the large number, which is 53 plus 42. 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. So anything between 11 and 95 will make a triangle. 11 will not work, 95 will not work, but anything in between will work. Number 4. For the small number, I subtract 22 minus 13. And I want a positive number because we're talking about side lengths. That's why I know which number I'm subtracting from what. I can't say 13 minus 22. That will give me a negative side length, and that doesn't make sense. All right, so then this will be 1, and this will be 12, so that makes 9. And those cancel, so 9. And that's the small number. 22 plus 13 gives me a 5 and a 3. So anything between 9 and 35 will work. 61 minus 48. 13. And 61 plus 48. 109. Okay, the next one, next page, number 10. List the sides of the triangles in order from shortest to longest. Again, make sure you put them in the correct order. This says shortest to longest. I have no idea on the test if I did not preview it to see if they say longest to shortest or shortest to longest. So make sure you put them in the correct order. And we don't, on number 10, there's nothing given about the side lengths, but the triangle inequality theorem tells us that we know the longer side is across from the larger angle, so that means the smallest side is across from the smallest angle. So if the angles are 25, 40, and 115, 25 is going to be the shortest angle, and across from 25 degrees is side XY. So side XY is the shortest side. And then 40 degrees is the next smallest. So the medium angle is 40 degrees. Across from 40 degrees is side ZY. So ZY is the medium angle. And then 115 is the largest angle across from the largest side, ZX. So that is shortest to longest. Same thing with number 11. We have 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degrees. Well, 50 degrees is going to be the smallest angle, and the smallest angle makes the shortest side, DF, or FD. The medium angle is 60 degrees. 60 degrees makes side EF, or FE. So then the largest angle is 70 degrees, which makes the longest side ED. So ED is the longest side. And the converse of that is number 12 and 13. List the angles of the triangle in order from smallest to largest. So it's just doing it in reverse order, depending on what you start with, the given information. Depends on which theory you're going to use, the inequality theorem, or if you're going to use the converse of the inequality theorem. So this time we're given the side lengths, and we know the side lengths are across from the corresponding. We know the smallest angle is going to be across from the smallest side. So the sides for number 12 are 17, 13, 20. So the 13 is the smallest side, and it is across from angle D. So angle D is the shortest or the smallest angle. The next largest number is 17. 17 is the medium side. It's across from angle C. So angle C is the medium angle. The largest side is 20. 20 is across from B. So the largest angle is angle B. Same thing for number 13. Smallest side is 10. 10 is across from U. So angle U is the smallest angle. 12 is the medium side. It is across from angle V. So angle V is the medium angle. That means 14 is the largest side, and that is across from angle T. So angle T is the largest angle. All right, so the next part gives us triangle STR. And H is the centroid. And then it gives me a length for EH, a length for HT, and a length for SM. And tells me to find each measure. So because it is the centroid, I know that the centroid is made up of medians. So centroid should tell me that this is medians. And you can see that by looking, because the lines end at angles, angle, angle. So if it's medians, also you know that the lines are cut in half. I don't think you really need that for this problem. You don't, but just in case. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, because it's just going to overcomplicate the picture, and this isn't asking us about the sides, so I'm going to leave that off. EH is 9, so I'm just going to label what I have. From E to H is 9, and HT is 12, so H to T is 12, and S to M is 42, so the entire length of SM is 42. And find each measure. So you have to remember that medians you need to split your median into 3 sections. I'm going to do a little quick drawing on the side. You have your triangle, and the median goes from a vertex to the middle of a side. You should split it into 3 sections, 3 equal pieces. And the centroid is closer to the flat end. So there's 2 sections closer to the pointy end, the vertex, and there's 1 section closer to the flat end. And they are all equal pieces. Okay, so now if I look for SH. SH. Okay, so S to H. I know the whole length S to M is 42. All right, so the whole blue line is 42. If I split it into 3 pieces, equal pieces, I'm splitting it like that. Now I have 3 equal pieces, so I can do 42 divided by 3. It's 14. So, okay, so for SH, if I take 42 and I divide it by 3, because there's 3 pieces, then each one of those pieces is going to have a length of 14. So that means this one is 14, and this one is 14, and this one is 14. And it says, what is the length of SH? Well, from S to H, that's to the centroid, so that's 2 of the sections, 2 of the 14s, right? So that is 28. Because I'm going to take these 2 and put it together. That's what it's asking me, is how long is that piece? Well, I see it's 14 and 14. So the length of SH is 28. All right, so then it says DH. All right, this is my picture is going to be very complicated if I keep doing it this way, so I'm going to have to come up with a new way. I'm just going to kind of sketch it to the side. DH. It looks like this. This is D, and this is, and H is the centroid. Right here. So if I split it into 3 pieces, like I do all of the medians, I split them into 3 pieces. The centroid is where 1 section from the flat side to 1 section, and then the pointy end gets 2 sections. So there's 3 pieces. Looking back at my picture, from D to H, so I'm looking at this, that's T on the other end. From D to T, well, I don't know that, but I know from H to T is 12. That was given to me, that HT is 12. So if from H to T is 12, the section is 12, and there's 2 pieces there, then I know each of those pieces is 6. So this one is 6. And this one is 6. And I know all 3 pieces of the median are the same. So from H to T was 12. But it's made up of 2 pieces. So I split the 12 in half. This one is 6 and this one is 6. So that means the 3rd piece is also 6, right? Because they're all equal. So that means this one is also 6. So DH is 6. Alright, so TD. Okay, well that goes with the same picture. T to D, it's all 3 of them. 6 plus 6 plus 6. So that's 18. So once you split a median up into the 3 pieces and find out what each individual piece is, all 3 of the numbers should be the same. Then you just have to see how many are you going to add together. How many of the sections do you add together? Which section of the line is it asking for? All right, so next problem, HM. All right, it's a different median. I'm just going to erase. H to M. Now I'm looking at this, HM. HM, where does it tell me anything about HM? It doesn't tell me anything about HM, but it does tell me that SM was 42. Oh, I should have done this one second. From the first part, I already figured that out, right? I already figured out that SH was 28 and that each of these medians was 14. Yeah. Right, so I shouldn't have erased that. So this was 14, and this was 14, and this was 14. So I already know this one, that's 14. HR, I haven't done anything for that one yet, have I? No, I've not. The last 2, okay. All right, so this one, HR, that's what I'm looking for. And I have that EH is 9. And so if I split my median into 3 pieces, it splits at the centroid, and then it splits, the pointy end gets split into 2 pieces. So there's my 3 equal pieces. I can already see each section is going to be the length of 9 because the section towards the side of the triangle is 1 piece. So then there's another 9 and another 9. So HR is both of these. So 9 plus 9 is 18. And then it says ER. Well, ER is the entire median, so it's 9 plus 9 plus 9, which is 27. All right, so that's medians. Again, the easiest way to solve problems with medians is split it into its 3 sections, find out what the length of one of the sections is, and then label each piece, and then find out what it's asking, add together that many of the number. All right, number 16 says that segment BG is a perpendicular bisector. Okay, that's an important word. Yes, perpendicular bisector means it meets at 90 degrees and it bisects the side. So B to G, it meets at 90 degrees and it bisects the side that it's cutting. It says the segment GC equals X. So GC equals X. And GA equals -3 plus 2X. Find the value of X. All right, well, the line has been bisected, it's cut in half. I marked it in the picture that these 2 pieces are equal to each other, so I'm going to set it up as they are equal to each other. -3 plus 2X equals X. Okay, so then I just need to solve for X. So I'm going to subtract 2X. -3 equals -X. But I don't want a negative X, I want a positive X. So I'm going to divide by -1. The 1 doesn't change the value, but the negatives cancel. On the left, the negatives cancel, so 3 equals X. And since it didn't ask me for a side length, it just asked for x, I'm finished. All right, so number 17, CJ is a perpendicular bisector. Again, very important, tells me two things, that it's perpendicular and it cuts the side in half, CJ. So CJ, I'm going to mark it with 90 degrees. It doesn't matter that it doesn't look like 90 degrees. It says it is, so it is. And the side is cut in half. Then it tells me that ED is 4x minus 2. So ED, the whole thing, is 4x minus 2. And it tells me that JD is 4x minus 4. So JD is 4x minus 4. Find the length of ED. So I need to figure out the length of the whole side. So I need to set up an equation to solve. I don't have any information for the bottom half of the side, for EJ, but I know it's the same as DJ. So it's 2 of DJ, or you could, if you like addition better, this one is also 4x minus 4. There's 2 of them that are the same. So you can either say 2 times 4x minus 4 equals the whole length, 4x minus 2, or you could say that 4x minus 4 plus 4x minus 4 equals 4x minus 2. I prefer the multiplication, so that's the way I'm going to set it up. Because it's bisected, I know it's 2 times 4x minus 4 and it's going to equal the length of the long value, 4x minus 2. So I'm going to distribute the 2 inside the parentheses. 8x minus 8 equals 4x minus 2. So I'm going to subtract 4x to get x's on one side. So 4x minus 8 equals negative 2. I'm going to get the non-x on one side and x's on the other. So 4x equals 6. So then I'm going to divide by 4. Alright, so x equals 6 over 4. Those are both even numbers, so I can reduce that. That's 3 over 2. And if you prefer a decimal, 3 over 2 is the same as 1.5. So x is 1.5. But it didn't ask me to find x. It says to solve for ED. And ED is 4x minus 2. So 4, but instead of x, I'm doing a blank parenthesis because I know what x is. X is 1.5. So 4 times 1.5 is 6. So this equals 6 minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. So ED equals 4. Alright. I feel like that's about the end of this class period, so I'm going to stop.